What is going on today?
Another day. Another spicy Tuesday.
Yeah, it was definitely another interesting Tuesday. That's always fun recording on stormy Tuesdays. So,
yeah.
So Justin's here. We're in a different studio tonight. A little different look for me, Justin, isn't it? You're the same, unfortunately. Cool. So I'm recording at the Age and Life Media podcast room. So this is pretty cool. And then we have our special guest with us. We got Joey Haase here tonight, man. How's it going, Joe?
Great. I'm excited to be on. I've been looking forward to this for like 2 months now.
I know we've talked about it for a while now. I figured we finally need to, we have some stuff coming up here shortly, and we'll talk about that later in the podcast. We finally need to get you on, get you talking about all this stuff.
Yeah, like I said, I've been internal panic, anxiety, oh, am I going to get to do this? I've just talking to my cousin Jake, he was on probably about a month ago.
Yeah, month and a half ago.
And he was so excited. He was all jazzed up when he did it. And he's like, man, it was so cool. I was so nervous. So
Jake was very nervous.
That doesn't surprise me.
Very nervous.
He
did really good though. He didn't swear as much as I thought he was going to, and he did really good.
Jake gets a little long-winded talking story time. So I was a little bit worried about that for him, but I was also worried about, I've heard some of the stories about you, him, and Ramsey growing up, and I'm like, oh no, what's he
going to bring up? Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm Joey Haase. I'm 25. I was born and raised here in Norfolk, Nebraska. Lived here my whole life. Race cars every weekend. So that's
for a while now.
Yeah. Since I was 12, I started in 4 cylinders when I was 12. So 13 years.
Was that really? So yeah, 2012 then?
Yeah.
I did not. I thought you started racing before that.
No, 2010. Wow. I'm off on my math. Yeah. I was born in 98. So
oh yeah.
2010. Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
You're good. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
We're getting old.
Yeah.
We get that kind of stuff.
Definitely. Yeah. It goes by super fast. It's in my blood now. And so
you wouldn't know what to do without, on a Saturday night, you wouldn't know what to do with yourself,
Yeah. If I'm not racing on a weekend, I'm working. So, it's definitely weird not being at the racetrack on a Saturday night. But it's what I know. It's everything I do. So
it's literally our lives are all wrapped up around it. It's just kind of weird on some of that stuff. So
yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, it definitely. I think Justin also gets the itch. Listening to your guys' podcast last week, and I think Justin's ready for a hobby stock again.
Yeah, I specifically avoided Facebook Marketplace this week.
I'll start sending you some stuff.
Yeah, we'll just start sending you. Yeah, everybody's going to start sending Justin hobby stocks. So we brought you on. We'll talk about some stuff a little bit later. I'm excited to talk about that. Like I said, we've been meaning to get you on for a while now. What else is all going on this week, guys? I didn't do any racing. I watched a lot of racing. It was a good time at Iowa.
Rain. That's about it.
I know, a lot of rain. How much rain have you guys got down there, Justin?
I think we got to be pushing the 2-inch mark now. I heard guys saying like an inch 60 from Friday, Saturday. So yeah, been wet.
I've been watching security cameras back at the house, and it just constant rain. My dad's alley is dang near flooded. It was wild how much rain's around here. They said somebody over by West Point, they've gotten 4 inches in the last few days. So.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and it's even crazy further up north. Was looking at maybe headed to Okoboji this weekend, but their lake's so high right now they have a 5-mile-an-hour speed limit across the whole lake. So,
really?
Yeah, water's too high. Again, it's getting rain everywhere.
I did not know that. I did not know that was a real thing.
Yeah. Megan said she only remembers it ever happened once before, since they've been going there. So years ago. So,
and I did have a farmer bitch today that he's getting too much rain. He's like, I need this stuff spread out. He's like, I know in July in a month I'm going to be bitching that we're in a drought again, but he's like, it's literally just raining and running off the field. It's not going into the ground at all. So, I mean, have you heard anything with all the rain happening? Has it washed any fields? Is it adverse stuff? I mean, the stuff is growing, so I think it'd be a lot tougher to do at this point.
Yeah, once it gets a good hold, like it does, like it kind of has now, especially that stuff that shin high corn, that kind of stuff's got a pretty good hold in the ground. Probably not going to wash as much, but for sure right now, what's going to kill this is hail. So we're already really late into the year. We've already replanted a bunch of stuff for the second or third time for some people. So if it gets hailed off now, it's going to be a really bad year.
Yeah, definitely.
So all these severe thunderstorms, they keep saying gorilla hail and 2-inch hail. If that ever actually shows up, it's going to be bad.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's some scary stuff, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else good, Joe? What'd you do this weekend?
I worked all weekend.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, there was no racing in Norfolk. So.
No, there was no racing, so I didn't really miss out on much. I was really looking forward to that USMTS show here on Tuesday. Man,
well, yeah, we did talk about that. Yeah, we were supposed to be there right now.
Yeah,
all of us were going to be there, and so that got rained out, got rescheduled. I'm looking forward to that. I hope Norfolk gets that done. I really want to see the USMTS guys.
They've been killer this year.
Yeah,
watching some of the highlights and stuff like that. They've had some killer racing, so I'm really looking forward to it. I wanted to see Jordan Grabowski.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I didn't think he could have came up here. Yeah, because I mean they'd been here in Beatrice. Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Not going to interfere with no points racing.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what it is about the guy. I just like man crush on him.
Yeah. No, I get it.
He is like the guy around here. Like I wanted to see him, get to see him win and stuff like that. Going down to the dome and stuff, seeing him.
That was awesome down there.
Run hard down there.
But it's just the racecraft that some of these guys are able to put on. It's just because they race a lot, they're able to put the car in certain situations that us weekly guys can't do because they do it every night.
Yeah, when you run 80 some nights a year, 80 plus, it's crazy how
much better you are.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, anything else you got going on this week, Justin?
No. Yeah, I was kind of bummed out on that USMTS show too. All the way back in college, watching Dirt Nights on YouTube.
Oh, yeah.
Like, still, you said man crush. I got a man crush on that whole series. That USMTS show is wild.
Mm-hmm. So Bassmaster fish this weekend, Justin. What do y'all got going on for that?
Yeah, so guy Cliff Prince got his first win. He's had 145 Bassmaster starts, tournaments. They count the opens in there, so the opens is kind of like your Busch Series. You got to qualify through the opens to get into the Elite Series. He started fishing those in 2008, and then got onto the Elite Series in 2012. So 145 combined total tournaments, and he finally got her done on Sunday. At the end of day 3, he had a 12-pound lead over second place, and that guy Ray Hasselman, he got second, cut that down to 3 pounds.
Oh man!
So made it kind of interesting to watch on Bass Live. Those are unofficial results, and some guys are honest, some guys lie, or they'll put a 3-pounder in as a 2.5-pounder, and then they show up to the scales, and they got an extra 5 pounds that they said they didn't have. So that's kind of cool to watch, because it's like, he says he's 2 pounds away, but was he fluffing on the fish, or is he not? So you got to watch all the way to the end. But Cliff got her done. He's kind of a pretty typical mid-pack guy. But everybody said he's one of the nicest guys out there. Everybody was pretty happy to see him win. So pretty typical ledge fishing tournament, which I've heard a lot about, and I've never really understood what that was. So they did a lot of cool breaking down the lake and draining the lake kind of stuff. And what that basically is through the river channel, you have, say the rivers, I don't know, how wide they are. They're kind of similar size to the Missouri River here, but there's a channel in there, and that channel has got, where it goes from 40 feet straight up a bank to where it's like 10 feet deep, and the fish sit on that edge of that ledge, and they ambush bait fish as they swim by with the current. They get pushed around. The guys were basically saying that this spot that Cliff had was only 20 foot long by about 5 foot wide. So he got all of his fish.
All weekend or just the main day?
Yeah. So they said there was I think 1,000 miles of shoreline. So they basically had like 500 miles of river to fish. And it came down to 20 foot of it out in the middle that they caught all this on. So I thought that was pretty crazy.
That is wild.
Everybody fishes day 1 and day 2, and then they cut the field down to 50 on day 3, and then it's down to 10 on day 4. So on day 4, they have a lot of the pros come on to the show. It's on FS2, or it was this weekend, and talk about what they experienced all week through practice and through the first 2 or 3 days of competition. And Lee Livesey was on there, and he said that he was within 1,000 feet of Cliff in practice and couldn't catch anything. Thought it was just, that's not where they're at. So moved on to other places. But the the fish sit so close to the bottom, and the river's so shallow that side scan is really hard to utilize really well. Which side scans, with using your electronics to find the fish, it shoots a beam out like sideways out of the boat. So when it's really shallow, that doesn't go very far, and it makes it really hard to map. Otherwise, the guys are usually mapping like 120 to 200 foot, side to side. But they couldn't side scan. Cliff found a little spot full of some hogs, and it cashed a check for $104,000 at the end of this thing.
That's awesome.
So
what do you?
Yeah,
I'm trying to think in like racing. Like, who do you think's like? It'd be like if Nico Hulkenberg won an F1 race. Is that probably the best comparison? Like, everybody likes the guy, finally wins.
Yeah, definitely. It's got to be like Nico or like Michael McDowell when he won the 500.
Yeah.
Was that last year, 2 years ago?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
Similar to that.
I think that'd been 2022 last year 2021. Because it was the last year for the Gen 6 car.
Everyone loves a little underdog story.
Well, that's exactly it. Yeah. Remember, you guys are pretty young. Do you guys remember when Todd Gilliland won that Busch race? And David
not
totally.
Todd.
No, not Todd. David.
It was just 18 years.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I think I saw someone.
That was half my life ago.
I think Tricon posted about it 18 years ago or something like that.
I remember I came home that night from the races, and they're like, David Gill, because I'd been before smartphones. I don't know if you guys remember a time before that, but I'm old enough to. So I had to come home and get on the computer to go to J-Ski to get my racing results, and David Gill wins the race.
It's crazy that J-Ski's been around that long.
It's been like, I remember that when I was in like 7th, 8th grade.
Yeah, wow.
That's a long time ago.
Yeah. I just remember, I don't know how old I was, but we had a family reunion the next day, and everyone was like talking about it. Like, yeah, this guy, no sponsors, everything like that, just won. And it just sticks with me for some reason.
Yep.
And then like 2 years later, I'm playing with him on NASCAR, one of the NASCAR games with the Taco Bell sponsored race car.
Yeah, just wild. He kind of shot up. But yeah, that's probably what I would compare that one to. Justin, would you call that a fair one?
Yeah, something like that. Like when Trevor Bayne got that 500 win,
that was sweet too.
Yeah. I mean,
that one was a little more special because he had a black.
It's kind of crazy.
Red and white 21 car. That was that one hit a little home for me.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of crazy. There's over 100 guys that finished. There was 99. I think there was a couple guys that dropped. So there's 99 guys, and I think there's usually around 104 or so that fish these tournaments. I mean, you have a 40. You used to have 43 cars in NASCAR. You're down to like 36 or 38 now, depending on how many guys show up.
Yeah,
but
that's wild.
Like there's a lot of guys that fish this that you don't know their names. It's kind of crazy. Like that the sport can handle that much. I mean, they really don't. They only pay out to 50 spots. So
right, you're kind of relying on sponsors and self-funding and certain things like that.
Yeah, and listening to some of these guys talk about how these fishing sponsorships work. All these guys always have like offer codes or discount codes to use at their sponsor's website or whatever. And yeah, so kind of learned too, which was kind of crazy, that the sponsors use that 5-10% discount code to see who's moving the needle in sales.
Oh, I believe that.
So
marketing
tactic. Something to think about. If you like a guy, whatever it is, whether it's NASCAR, fishing, or whatever you're into, and he's giving you an offer code out, like, use it, because that gets him paid too. Like, I thought that was kind of crazy.
For as much as they push it, some of the YouTube guys I watch, it definitely makes sense. I watch a lot of Cletus McFarland on YouTube, and I mean, every day he's got a little ad before there, and it's always like, use this offer code. So I mean, it makes sense. I know he got paid off my AG1, so
yeah. So I mean, if it's, because I would always like, if I go to Amazon and buy it cheaper, or buy it cheaper from Cabela's or wherever, like, I'm going to do that, but go take the 10% code and pay the few extra bucks on the exact website of the person that's sponsored, and get them the pub, because that's what pays their bills too.
Support people that I mean, not support you directly, but I enjoy it. I like it, and that's how they make their living, and I want to see more of it.
Right. So, I mean, I'd be lost if there was no YouTube and no fishing on YouTube. I mean,
at this point in time, I I always made fun of my kids for watching as much YouTube as they did, and now that's what I go to. There's so much better content I feel than on normal TV anymore. And it's content that it's like so much more pointed towards me. It's like exactly what I want to watch is probably the right word. So and no ads. YouTube Premium's pretty sweet.
Oh, I need that.
Oh, it's only $10 or $12. It's it's really killer. Zach likes it over there.
I'll have to try that.
Oh yeah, if you don't like ads, it is. And I mean, I listen because YouTube Music, you don't get ads, nothing. You can shut your phone screen off and still listen to music. That's what I bought it for, and I realized how much I didn't like listening to ads on my YouTube videos.
I boycotted Hulu Live for like 1 month because they raised their prices, and I'm tight as tight can be, and they raised it like $5.
Hulu's gotten ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like 90 some bucks. I want to say anymore.
It's getting, we're going back to cable pricing.
Oh yeah, but I was like, I'm boycotting them. I'm going to YouTube TV, and I had YouTube TV for like a month, and the setup layout was all jacked up from what I was used to with Hulu, and I'm like, never mind. I'll pay the $5 extra. I'm going to Hulu Live again. So maybe I'll have to try YouTube TV out, or
I've never done YouTube TV. I know that's what Zach
Premium
uses,
or something.
YouTube Premium's killer.
I'll have to try it out.
Worth that.
Hopefully,
we have YouTube TV. We have YouTube TV, and it's, I don't know, DVR is pretty cool. It's a lot of you save a lot of shit in it before it deletes itself. But
need to look into that, I think too. How did our boy Ben Milliken do?
He sucked it up. Mid-pack.
What a bad year.
In the 70s, 72nd.
Did he catch?
Yep.
Did he fish out every day?
He did. He got 20 pounds, 8 ounces.
Oof. That's a big oof.
In 2 days. Yeah. Especially when the guy, granted, the guy that won fished for 4 days, but the guy that won had 80 pounds.
Ooh.
and on day one, John Cox had 22 pounds. So
yeah, not good for Ben.
That was in one day. No, Ben fell out of the classic cut this week. We do have a northern swing coming that suits his style. His style is definitely side scan, forward facing sonar. Find him with side scan and then go snipe him with the live scope. So we got some northern lakes coming up. Those are big, deep, clear lakes.
When is the next
full
tournament?
of nothing but fish and rocks. So
when is the next tournament?
It's in 2 weeks. They have another one in Alabama, and then they're headed up north to New York for a couple out there on the Great Lakes.
That'd be pretty cool up there.
Yeah.
So how close do they get to like the Nebraska area? Because I'm unfamiliar
so
with it.
Yeah, they were in Oklahoma for the Classic, which was on Grand Lake. I think that was like 6 or 7 hours away. Then a couple years ago, they were in La Crosse, Wisconsin, and then a couple years ago, they were up in Pierce, South Dakota. So, not. I mean, it's a good drive, but they don't have any lakes big enough around here to support a 100-boat tournament for 4 days. But
yeah, a big event.
They're coming to say the open schedule is taking them to Leech Lake in Minnesota. As see when that's coming up. They're in Eufaula, Oklahoma again, and then they'll be in Leech Lake in August 22nd to the 24th. That's not that far away.
No, that's probably not that bad.
You should check your schedule. We should go there.
Remind me after this.
Or
put in the notes.
Yeah, or right after that, the Opens are going to be in La Crosse, Wisconsin.
So the Opens, Justin, can you like compete in those? Like, say, can you just show up with your boat and say I'm competing?
You got to pre-register because they have it capped at a certain amount. But these ones that are towards the end of the season, you can get into because the first 3, 4, 5 tournaments are extremely hard to get into. You got to like pre-register, like sniper on the mouse when they open it up. You got to be there. But the guys that don't finish good in the first couple that have no shot at getting to the elites, they quit going. I mean, it's like a $7,500 entry fee. And so they're not going to keep traveling around the country, spending their $7,500 to fish them. So yeah, I think there's open spots. You could go fish and Leech if you.
We do have some Noah Gregson Ranger boat trips, Justin.
You and Cam were talking about it in earlier episodes about doing it. So go big or go home. Let's just start it.
If we get enough sponsorship raised, anything is possible.
I'll chip in $50.
Yeah.
That should be enough
Only
for
No,
gas station food.
$7,450 more to go.
That should be enough for gas station food to get there, right?
I'll cover the food.
Yeah.
I'll cover the food. That'll be fine.
Yeah. I need a hotel and yeah.
I got a motorhome.
I'll try and see what
I got
that
a
entry
motorhome,
fee is.
Justin.
I mean, you go to the website, register here. That's
Yep.
all it takes.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Sign
That's
up.
awesome. But yeah, anything else you got on the fishing side of things, Justin?
No, John Cox had a pretty cool tournament. He got third, but he was fished the whole event with a frog, way back up in a creek on top of some milfoil. It was pretty cool. If you go to Bassmasters Instagram or whatever, they got some pretty cool pictures of him pulling some big ones in. Thought it was kind of cool, and they cut to him. They show a map. If you ever watch the coverage on Fox Sports 1,
Yeah.
they show a map of everybody, kind of where they're fishing at in the lake. And when they cut to him, his little GPS pin drop was on the land. It looked like he was so far back in there. But so it wasn't all edge fishing.
Can
Kind
you
of
fish
just
from
an
the shore?
old school
Do you have
tournament.
to fish from the boat? Could you like get off?
No, you can't get off the boat
Okay.
in the tournament.
Never asked that. That was just a question I just thought of.
Yep, you have to stay in the boat to land a fish. You can get off the boat and take a dump or whatever, but you can't go out there and catch a fish off the boat.
Mhm. Heck yeah. Well, big weekend in Iowa, boys. Unfortunately, Justin wasn't able to come. You weren't able to. We even asked you.
Yeah.
Both of you guys weren't able to come. So
I'm sorry.
getting into some NASCAR stuff for the weekend. I went to Iowa Speedway, watched a ton of racing, 4 races in 3 days. It was a good weekend. The ARCA race was very eye-opening because on TV they don't show the very slow ARCA cars. There are very slow ARCA cars. It'd be like me racing with you late model. Well, we're not that much slow. It'd be like a hobby
You
stock.
guys are like, I don't know, like
Yeah, we're
what,
not
like
super-
a second and a
Yeah.
half, maybe.
Yeah, we're not that much slower. But like if you were racing at the same time,
Yeah.
but it'd be like probably a hobby stock coming out there and racing with you late models. Man, there were some slow ARCA cars. It was a decent race on Friday night. It was fun. Wasn't too hot. Saturday we have the Xfinity race. We'll get into that. The Xfinity race was freaking bomb. With the repave, I was really nervous of how the cars were going to race. It was pretty wide, but listening to the radio, how with some of the guys, how they were telling me like split the seam, like, hey, you need to arc your entry a little more, hit the apex. Like, I'll tell anybody, if you go to the NASCAR race, I knew some people that went and they didn't get the radio. You have to get the radio. God, there was so much information, just so much more I learned. And I freaking love listening to TJ Majors. That guy talks your ear off. When he tells you, says his stories on DVC about that, like Dale Jr. just told him to shut up. I can 100% see that. Because even in the ARCA race, he was telling his driver like so much information. It was just an information overload kind of thing. But it's one of them. If you want the information, it's definitely TJ's got it.
That's crazy, And if I was in that, I would want the information.
I'd like
and
as much information
maybe
as I could.
sometimes I'd be like, TJ, just shut up. Give me a second. I've heard
to like process all this.
But yeah, I would love all that information. That's crazy. I kind of wish NASCAR would go back to like not having that much information. And
We say it every week. Get rid of SMT.
And drivers, just who's the best driver? You know, not who has the best facts going and who has the best information come to them. Just let the driver be a driver.
Definitely a couple crazy things. So each manufacturer has its own support trailer. So it's funny, they're all the same like brand of trailer, the Ford, the Toyota, and the Chevy one. Like they're all three off the track. And basically, I'm sure that's where all the engineers for each manufacturer there, they've all got antennas and satellites and everything off there. I'm trying to get any data. And then SMT has their own trailer also that comes to the track. There's so much support there. I was just like, holy crap. I'd never seen like that much. In Kansas, we don't see that kind of stuff when we're down that way. But yeah, so all the manufacturers have their own stuff. SMT brings their own trailer. It's pretty wild, but we say it every week. We're kind of just tired of the SMT data. I think we need to get away from that. And and like you said, maybe see it on Monday morning, 8:00, we release it.
Well, I remember you talking about it, like when Corey LaJoy ran the Hendrick car.
There's more data he got.
Yeah, how much more data? Because I don't know what tier Spire is. I'm sure
I think
they're
tier 3.
Tier 3, compared to a tier 1, obviously with Hendrick. But I wish they would just get rid of that and just let the drivers have at it, And I think that would really start to show who's the best driver and who's not a paid for driver.
Well, what I think also is because the Cup Series did test here a few weeks, about a month ago. Well, right after was Indy, because I think Larson, it was right after Coke 600. That Monday they tested. Larson came and turned a ton of laps at this track, and it clearly showed.
Yeah, I remember. I know the two big names that stood out to me that tested were Larson and Logano, and I had my money on Logano. I thought Logano was going to win.
We talked last week that he was going to probably be that way because an unknown is like Joey Logano's best friend.
Yeah,
at the racetrack.
I think Joey Logano is just one of those guys where I know Justin hates him. Justin's probably growling right now that I'm talking about him, but I think Joey Logano is one of the best true drivers in the field
to adapt to oddball situations.
Yeah.
I mean, two-time champion. You can't deny the stats.
The nickname's there, the greatest thing since sliced bread. Yeah. So I mean, the nickname's there.
But no, I think that each manufacturer almost needs to, and or even NASCAR. NASCAR has these next gen cars. You could pay people that are getting fired at Stewart Haas. You could pay people to come build these cars and then just go test. And then you could hire guys like, obviously, maybe not Dale Jr., but like Justin Allgaier, or you could have some of these people that aren't in the Cup Series. Would Kurt Busch come test a car on some of this stuff?
I think you definitely get your mid-level Xfinity guys that have been in the Cup Series that...
Bringing Elliott Sadler in.
Yeah, I think you'd have guys that...
Clint Boyer, he's going to run that truck race.
Yeah. I mean, even Kevin Harvick. I mean, Kevin... I'm a big like Twitter X, whatever you want to call it now, person. And Delana Harvick was like, Kevin is driving me insane. This is the first time he's been home for a race, and he is driving me insane.
Yeah, first time he was ever home from a Cup race since 2002. Could you imagine 22 years of going to the racetrack like that?
Yeah,
every Sunday.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I think that's what each manufacturer would need is just an individual. Like here, we have 2 or 3 drivers. These were our test drivers. To take the testing away. Obviously we don't have our testing anymore, but there's enough tire tests and that kind of stuff that NASCAR could build their own cars and hire some guys from Stewart Haas to come over and build these cars, or just anybody in general. Maybe somebody doesn't want the life on the road anymore. And this would be the better outlet for them. Because I definitely do think that hurts. Because Larson was the class of the field again. My God, that 5 car was fast.
I feel bad for him. I
after the wreck and everything.
This is going to sound weird from a dirt guy, but I am not a big Kyle Larson fan. But I was trying to every 15 minutes at work, I'd kind of check my phone, see what's going on. And then my boss, he's a big Kyle Larson fan. And I was like, hey, how's Kyle doing? And Daniel Suarez turned him. So
What did you think, Justin? What did you think of the whole turn deal? Did you see that part of the race?
Yeah, it kind of sucked, or wish you would have been able to continue for sure. But
it was wild.
Daniel's team afterwards, it's like, if you're going to push the issue in turn 3, or 3 wide, then that's just racing. And it's like, that didn't look like just racing to me though.
But Kyle somebody said on one of the other podcasts I was listening to, they did talk about how Kyle it was earlier in the race, kind of put Daniel in a bad situation, but Kyle's made a career putting people in bad situations. And that's the reason he was passing cars. Cause like I said, it was undeniable. He had the fastest car there. It was freaking crazy.
Those Trackhouse guys, they're not afraid to push the issue.
No.
I mean, Ross, Daniel, both of them are, they're if there's a gap, they're going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
They're not afraid to go out there and hit people. It's
definitely rubbing is definitely racing kind of with those guys.
Yeah, 100%.
But no, it was good. Kind of got off topic there a little bit, back to the Xfinity race. When Austin Hill wrecked, it was undeniable that the crowd went crazy when Austin Hill wrecked. So I have, I'd say the majority is on our side. I don't know, because you're not a big Austin Hill fan, are you?
No.
Yeah, I didn't think all 3 of us were. It was pretty crazy to watch him wreck. Sam Mayer comes out, wins. It was a good race. Riley Hurst was coming. I thought he was going to get there for a little bit, and then he just kind of tapered off there at the end. So this is going to go back because this has been the hot topic. What do you guys think of Sam Mayer's Superman pose at the end of the race? Did you see that, Justin?
No, I must have missed that.
So
I didn't.
He's done it because stats are there. He has won 6 of the last 29 Xfinity races. So great stats. But when he wins, he's pulling his fire suit out and he's got this Sam Mayer logo inside like a Superman emblem. I don't know. What do you guys think of that? What do you like it?
Marketing wise, it's
cool.
There. I personally don't like Sam Mayer.
I'm torn on the kid some days. Some days I like him, some days I don't.
After his fight with Ty Gibbs, I know Justin hates Ty Gibbs too. Wow, Justin, we're like complete opposites. I like all the guys that you hate. After their whole fight with him and Ty, you know, I was like, man, I'm not a big fan of Sam, but
he definitely says some things, and that's maybe why they don't look at him for Cup rides. We'll talk about that here in a sec, but he definitely says some things that make it questionable on some of that stuff. That you're like, yeah, you are just a young kid yet. I don't know how old he is, probably 24, 25.
I don't even know if he's that old. I mean, I remember when he got that first truck win, he was only like 17. That doesn't seem like it's too long.
He's definitely early 20s.
Yeah.
So you're not fully developed, or you're going to say things you don't need to. Them Arco boys say it all the time. Salowich said some things Friday night too that I was like, kind of cringy, but I don't know. What do you guys think on celebrations? What's some cringy? What's some good ones? What's some bad ones?
I don't have any room to talk. Whenever I win, I bow. So I don't have any room to talk here.
I've always wanted to bow to the race car. I think Kyle Busch has done that a couple of times. I've never been able to do it after I've won a race.
I had to get permission from Jake Tim. You know, he was a big
showstopper. Does that?
He was the showstopper does that. He was a big time Kyle Busch fan, and he always bowed. And then he quit racing, and I was just like, Jake, you know,
I'm going to steal this.
Can I bow after I win? And he's like, yeah. So I started bowing, so I don't have any room to talk here. I'm sure some people hate it.
Like I said, when I win, I think we talked about that last week. I just leave my helmet on and get out of the car, get all pumped up, and then I take all my safety gear off outside of the car. I don't know. Nobody else I feel like does it, so I just get all excited with the helmet on and makes it look just a little bit different.
I feel like the Hans device makes you look a lot more cooler when having that on.
when you got to take your Hans device off and everything. You're not wrong. It feels cool. The first time I wanted to do it, I couldn't get out of the car. I'm like, I really struggled with it. And I think the first time I tried, I ended up taking the dang Hans device off in the car and then kind of weaseled out. And Justin's like, well, what if you're on fire? And I was like, that's a good point. So next time I won, I just took a deep breath and I'm like, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And I hopped out of the car and I did it just fine. But that's what I like about my Performer. The deck to the roof is, I got a lot more room in that one. I can just pop out of that one quick and easy.
I'm going to go off topic here real quick. So talking about being on fire.
Yeah.
So opening night in Norfolk, I started on fire.
I do not remember that.
Yeah, I started on fire. You know, I'm racing behind my brother. I'm like 5th place. He's like 4th place. And I see his car go up in smoke. And I'm like, oh, dang, that sucks for Matt, you know? And then all of a sudden my carb starts loading up. And next thing I know, I'm on fire.
God.
And so safety crew is over dealing with my brother. I don't know if they think he's the most important Haase or what, but
tends to be that way. No, I'm just joking. We love you, Matt.
So I start on fire and I'm getting out of my car and my air hose on top of my helmet. Yeah. And I'm trying to pull myself out, not realizing you're kind of panicking there.
Oh yeah.
But then, I get out, thankfully it put itself out. And, another good friend of mine, Brock Carlson, he pulls up beside me as I'm standing outside my race car. Hey, you're on fire. Yeah, I know.
Thanks, bud. Figured that out. That's why I got out of the car. You've never started on fire. You didn't have anything crazy like that, Justin, did you?
No, I didn't. I was too scared to start on fire. I don't think I'd get out.
I mean, it's a real thing. So I would tell anybody in races to have a fire plan. So, but do you guys does your car have this extinguisher on it or anything?
No.
I mean, that's expensive. That's an expensive setup.
Yeah. I think it's the SLMR series. You have to.
You're required, I believe, in the super late model racing series that races around here. So if anybody's not familiar, there's a lot more safety requirements for that. Seat, fire extinguisher, and I think it's a head and neck restraint. So, but nope, Sam Mayer wins. I don't know. I'm torn on the victory celebration, but Sam says some things over the weekend that he's kind of pissed that more Cup owners aren't looking towards Xfinity guys for Cup rides, which makes sense because we really haven't. Who's the last guy that came out of besides Ty Gibbs, and that was kind of hey, this is going to happen kind of a thing. Who have we got out of Xfinity? I guess Noah. That's been a couple years now. But Chase is that was 4 years.
4 years ago. So Noah's the last one. Ty Gibbs, and Noah came up same year.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Yep. The last year would have been, but I don't see any of this current group of Xfinity guys getting in a Cup ride next year.
The only one I could think of, and I think it's very far out there, is Austin Hill. But there's rumors of Noah.
I think Noah's going to RCR with Bass Pro Shops.
So that's kind of rules him out for another 3-4 years until Kyle's possibly gone.
Or Austin gives it up.
Yeah.
I don't know. Do you see RCR buying another charter? That's a pile of money.
I mean, they're not running that good this year.
I know.
So
it's just it. It's not like they've got all this extra money. Yeah. What do you think, Justin?
Well, it's going to be really hard for an Xfinity guy to find a Cup ride when you just got 4 Cup drivers looking for jobs.
Let me ask
I
you
think
that
with
too.
Stuart Haas going, selling out this year, so that's going to be tough in general. I haven't seen anything published or like from a credible source that says these charters are may or may not going to be around next year, or all 36 of them are may or may not going to be available next year. Is that true? Have you heard that? Or
So with the charter negotiations, I was told that the NASCAR, the guys that brought the latest agreement essentially on it, it was the worst one they've got. It's not looking good. They're asking for this TV money from this big bajillion-dollar TV deal that we signed last year. It's not looking good for I think the charters will be there, but NASCAR doesn't want to make them permanent. For what reason? I honestly can't tell you. I honestly don't know the details or the specs on that one. So I think that makes everybody a little gun shy, but I mean, it sounds like one's going to 2311. I'm pretty confident in that. Furniture Row bought one. So there's at least 2 that are like undecided. I think I can see Furniture Row, or no, not Furniture Row, Front Row Motorsports. Jeez, throwing it back.
Couple years.
Yeah.
But, no, and we look at it this year, with 2 rookies of Carson Oswald and Zane Smith, they've ran very few Xfinity. I don't think they have 10 starts between the 2 of them. And another driver rumored to be coming up is Corey Heim. He's going to all but skip the Xfinity Series 2. I don't think he's got 10 starts in it. He had a great run Saturday. That was actually really fun to watch him.
Third, right?
Yeah, he was very fast. He had a little tire issue. Came up. That was fun. Watch him.
Sam Hunt Racing is kind of like underfunded too, right?
They are, yeah.
Yeah, like they're like mid-tier.
Yeah, I think that Yahoo money that Corey brought this weekend was definitely a big thing for him. So, no, it was cool. It was a fun race Saturday. But it'll be interesting to see where the Xfinity guys, to move up the next level kind of a thing. So
I can't think of one that just like stands out to me other than Austin Hill. That's
just think like Noah his last year.
Yeah.
But Austin Hill's he's got same thing, kind of like Sam Mayer. He's kind of got a little growing up to do, I feel like,
And Austin Hill's he's got to be pushing 30 right now.
He's got a couple kids. I mean, not like anybody can have a couple kids, but no, he's definitely getting up there because he was in the Truck Series for a little while. He's been in Xfinity. He's got to be biting at the bit because he kind of lost out on that ride when they signed Kyle Busch. So I don't know. But then other big news: Martin Truex Jr. is going to retire. That's kind of crazy. I didn't think we'd get him till the end of the year, but all of a sudden reports were coming that he was going to have to let him know sooner than later. And here it is. Martin Truex is gonna go away. I think he's gonna run some Xfinity stuff the way at least he's saying he's not going away. I always kind of thought Truex would kind of be the guy to once he retires, he's gone. He's out. Dips. He's done. Going fishing.
Yeah, Carl Edwards type S.
Carl Edwards style, yeah.
Yeah. Did you know? So Corey, I was listening to Stacking Pennies. Corey LaJoy asked him to come down on the podcast, and he says he hasn't been to Charlotte down to the race shop area in over 2 years.
Wow. So
he doesn't come to the race shop. He does all the team debriefs over the phone. He lives in New Jersey in the summer, and then he's got a home down in Florida that he also has. Wow. So he never comes to the race shop ever. No sim race, no sim time, nothing. Martin Truex Jr. just shows up, races the car, peace out, I'm out, going back home, and then he just does everything over the phone and Zoom calls, I guess.
I mean,
yeah,
Martin's a
how do you?
He's a wheelman.
How do you fit in your seat? The seat fittings and that kind of stuff. How do you build seats then?
For Harvick, Rodney Childress came over with all Kevin's measurements and they helped put that 5 car together. Wasn't it? Didn't they say Rodney came over and helped him with that?
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you're right. I mean, Rodney and Kevin are, they're tight.
Yeah, I think Rodney came over and I think Harvick showed up, but I think they have all these measurements and everything, so I think they can just put it all in.
That's crazy. Yeah. Huh. That's wild.
What's your guys' favorite Truex memory?
Favorite what?
Favorite Truex memory?
His first win at Dover was pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. That was in the COT.
Yeah, I was a big Truex fan then. Not so much anymore.
He's got a little whiny over the years.
Yeah, always complain about lap traffic and stuff like that.
He definitely bitches about lap traffic. So he's never been in a fight. Name one time Martin Truex Jr. got in a fight.
Yeah, I can't name one.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever done it.
Yeah.
Wow.
They were talking about that. The biggest thing he's ever said or done was, we may have lost the battle, but we'll win the war. Like that quote at Martinsville when Joey wrecked him for the championship.
Oh, yeah.
That was the only controversial thing that Martin Truex Jr.'s ever said. And then Joey drives right past him on the restart. And I'm like, Martin, what? That was the war right there. You just let the war drive right past you.
That.
But
I don't know if it's a good thing, but I kind of remember some of his radioactive stuff where he's making unreasonable requests to his spotter, making him go down and did you tell him? Like,
yeah,
did you go down there and tell him? Like, no, like I don't know what his spotter did, but it's like
Clayton
that's so unreasonable. I'm not even going to leave my spot.
Yeah,
like
I think I remember Clayton even saying that.
Yeah, that's what I remember at Martin, and it's probably just as kind of as recent with his lack of success and
definitely a tale of two careers for sure. You know, front half to back half, wild. Because he could go out. I mean, I could see Truex literally winning the champ. It could happen. He could win the championship this year and be like, all right, riding on the sunset.
I mean, he's one of the best points racers around.
He's good.
He
can't have a much worse of a playoff than he did last year, though.
No, I mean, and I felt so bad for him. He was that top point guy. Like, if it was truly points and not wins get in, he was like third in points.
Yeah, he missed it here a couple years ago. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. But yeah, kind of back on topic. I mean, I guess this happened in Iowa, but Iowa's awesome weekend. Like anybody, it sounds like they're going to get a race next year. They offered a renewal for the races next year. So we paid our $25. I renewed my tickets. So we'll have 4 tickets again for that one next year. Justin, remember that? So hopefully you can come.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll get more people. I don't know. It was a blast over there. I'd tell anybody if they can go to the race next year, I think it'll be even harder to get. I know a couple husband and wife, they wanted tickets, and it was $600 for 2 tickets for just Sunday. Just Sunday. We paid $165 for 3 days worth of racing. And they were decent seats, what I felt like we had. So I'm excited. I'll definitely take them seats next year. So it was fun. Atmosphere was awesome. The track was great. There's a campground right across the interstate. It was a blast. I had so much fun. I drank so much beer, though. I've at least sobered up a little bit come Tuesday. So, and then I probably needed to let everybody know because Ethan's like, geez, you made me out to be a drunk. Ethan didn't get drunk at all this weekend. Everything was kosher. Everything was good. It was just a good time. And then we went to Knoxville. Have you ever been to Knoxville, Joe?
No. I was jealous. You Snapchatted me, and I was like, man, like I was already jealous missing the NASCAR stuff, and then you went to Knoxville to watch the World of Outlaws.
That was a last minute plan. I had no idea. One of my customers let me know that not the World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series, and I think we've said on here before, not a big fan of the tumble buggies, but we decided to go to Knoxville, just be like, oh, it's Knoxville. Got to go check it out. That was a pretty cool place. The food was really good. Everybody was really like, we just talk anywhere you go, we're going to talk about the food. It was good. It was fun. Sprint car racing, it took forever. Hot laps to time trials to qualifying. It just took forever. It was like 9:00 before we actually got to racing, and then the show flies by. But that was really cool to go to Knoxville. It was like 45 minutes from the track, and there was construction, so we had to take a bunch of back roads. But on a normal weekend, it was like 30-minute drive, so it was good. I wish we'd walked down to the pits afterwards because it sounded like half the NASCAR industry was in the pits. But got to finally see Kyle Larson in a sprint car. He definitely puts the car in some situations. He, like I say in the Cup race, he definitely puts people in bad situations and hope they lift, and they do most of the time.
It's Kyle Larson. I mean,
that's what I mean. Like, how intimidating is that? Like, to be like, oh man, I start pulling my heat, and Kyle Larson starts like 4th or outside. You're like, damn it. Because he started 10th, I think, in that heat race, and he was up to like 5th, maybe coming out of 2. I felt like, and he just got a whoop 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 straight through. I mean,
think if like say you wreck Kyle Larson, he rolls or something like that, or something happens.
I mean, that happened not that long ago.
Yeah, I mean, like Alex Bowman last year.
Yeah,
where he
broke his back.
Yeah, broke his back. Say you do that to Kyle Larson. I mean, I think 90% of the NASCAR population might come with a noose to your trailer, and try to hang you from
complete death threats. But
just need to make sure it's a noose and not a garage door pull handle.
Exactly. But no, so I'll look forward to Iowa next year. Like I said, the racing's been killer. If you can go to a race, be it Kansas City here in the fall or anywhere, guys, go to one of these races. You're gonna have a blast. This is Parker's first oval race, and he really enjoyed it. I know that, but we had fun all weekend. I kind of want to camp now at Kansas City, and just throwing that out there.
That'd be fun.
I am going after this weekend because we did take my dad's motorhome, and granted, the motorhome is It's glamping is what it is. I am going to go camping with the kids here in a few weeks. I've already booked a campsite at one of these HOA places because I had so much fun. I was like, they got this brand new pool at this. It's a specific one we're going to. So I'm going to slowly turning into a camper right now, which is going to be an oddball for my personality. If you know me, not much of a.
Well, you know what they keep by campgrounds? Lakes.
There's no
so you
lake.
need to put a boat.
There's
You
no
need to put a
lake at
boat
this
behind
one.
that camper.
Not yet. Got to give me a couple years here, Justin. One step at a time. One step at a time. But nope, it was a good weekend. So yeah, we'll kind of get into it. Anything you guys got on Cup race you want to talk about?
I thought it was honestly going to be a boring race. I didn't watch it, but all the flack they got Friday for a practice session, it was just horrible. I thought it was going to be a horrible race.
Well, you know why it was bad? Because so when they went and tested here a month ago, the cars on Friday were a second faster a lap than when they tested. So they were pulling the oils out differently because there was more cars. It was hotter. They were pulling the oils out of the track. So the track picked up speed. So Goodyear has this curve for camber to tire pressure. This is graph they have. So after Friday, when all these guys were blowing tires, they had to go back and re-engineer their curve and hand out all this new paperwork to teams on Saturday for Sunday. So that's why they were blowing tires on Friday, because they were going a second faster than they were expected to. So kind of crazy. That's fast. A full second. Like, that's wild. But
Still thought it was pretty cool how if they pushed at the beginning of a run with low tire pressures that, you know, they were still kind of potentially jeopardizing the tires, and they had to, you know, take care of their equipment. Like, they didn't have the tire fall off, but they at least had to monitor the integrity of the stuff.
yeah. No, because it definitely hurt the carcass coming out on that low pressure like that, pushing. Because, I mean, they're moving. That is a 7/8 mile track, and they are flying around there for a short track. I mean, it's like a fun Richmond kind of a thing. So, like I said, the repave was good. I don't mind it. I was really scared, but it wasn't one lane. I felt like there was a lot of passing. I mean, obviously Kyle Larson passed half the field, except Denny Hamlin. He did not have so much of a fun race.
Thank the Lord.
Oh my God, dude, it was wild being at the track,
Lord.
watching him just go backwards, and get lapped. We're like, what is going on? I've never seen Denny Hamlin have that bad of a car in a long time for that one. So, but the reason we brought you on, Joey, you have a memorial race you'd like to talk about. So let's talk a little bit about this. Give us some deets on this.
Yeah, July 3rd of this year, we're doing a memorial race for my grandpa. He just passed away 2 months ago. So trying to figure out a way to do a tribute to him. You know, I started talking to Brian Signer at Off-Road Speedway, kind of a manager. I guess I don't know what his title is.
I'd call him that. Track manager.
Track manager.
I like
whatever it is. You know, I started talking to him and trying to figure out something, how we can do this. You know, if we're going to do a memorial race, kind of similar where it's all classes, bump the pay. And, you know, he kind of got back to me. What if we just, you know, do a tribute race for just late models? I'm like, man, that's perfect. You know, my grandpa, he loved racing.
There's no doubt about that.
He was Thursday through Sunday at a racetrack. You know, if one rained out, he'd go to the next one. So he was racing 24/7. So I started talking to Brian Signer, trying to figure this out, and we got together and got a really, really good payout for the IMCA late models.
It looks killer, man.
This is more than Super Nationals.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Holy crap.
So, yeah, it pays more than Super Nationals. So I want to make this like the premier event for late models. So that's, we've had a bunch of generous partners join in and help us out with this and make this payout possible. But $3,500 to win, $500 to start.
Damn, $500 to start. That's pretty sweet. Holy crap.
I think it's $450 to win at off-road on a regular night in the late model class. So $500 to start we're starting 20 cars. So
that'd be killer.
You get 20th place, $500.
$500. That's sweet.
You finish in the top 5, you are taking home $1,000.
Wow. That's awesome.
So, like I said, I want to make this the premier event, and we've had tons and tons of great partners jump on board to help us out. Your parents is one of them.
Yep. My dad.
Tom Service.
Yep. Tom Service and Pierce stepped on because you were and that's one thing I wanted to ask you about because you sent me over a logo. I approved it. So is your wife, is she doing all the logos and all that stuff?
Yeah, thank
She's
God.
making all the banners for everything?
Yeah. The banners and stuff like that, we've been having like Renegade Customs here in Norfolk.
Oh, yeah.
Troy Wyrick, he's been a big help with this. He just printed off 132 shirts for us.
Damn, that dude loves racing though.
Oh yeah,
He is
100%.
all in on racing.
Yes, I go in there and I'll talk racing with him for hours on end, and it's like, hey Troy, I got to finally get going. But yeah, so like I said, $3,500 to win. When I did this, I was really worried about. You see a lot of these specials and they pay really good for the winner, but then
second is like
Yeah.
way down.
So I mean, that was my big worry, was paying throughout the field. So like I said, we're doing $500 to start.
That's awesome.
20 cars. Second place gets $2,000 to win.
That's insane. So yeah, that's some good money. That's
yeah.
wild. It's going to be a heck of a late model show. So that is July 3rd, which is a Tuesday night.
Yeah, Tuesday night.
Yeah. So nobody should. Well, some people will have to work the next day, but like blue collar guys, I guess I don't have to work. So
Yeah, thank God, me either.
Yeah.
I was supposed to work, but I took vacation.
Yep, exactly.
But yeah, so like I said, come on out July 3rd, Off-Road Speedway, 7 p.m. start time.
Yep, probably. I think they could push it back, but we'll just say 7 p.m.
Yeah, well, let's shoot for 7 p.m.
We will. We'll keep reiterating stuff.
Yeah.
For this.
I have a Facebook page, Ray the Hummer Haases Tribute Race on Facebook. So if you're looking for more details, I'm continuously updating that. I've been now lately, my wife's been making posts of drivers that are coming, kind of like Boone.
Yeah, I did like that. I like when tracks do that for some of this stuff. It's kind of cool because then it just kind of like gives you a little recognition no matter what that you're coming.
Yeah.
Did you have somebody coming from Illinois?
Illinois. He is the current national points leader too.
Oh, really?
So yeah, Evan
damn.
Miller, Silvis,
That's cool.
Illinois, 9.9 in like 30 minutes.
When? Why wouldn't you for money? Like you're not going to race
That's
anywhere weekly
crazy.
for this kind of stuff.
I was I don't know how proficient you guys are with like late model and stuff like that, but Dean Abbey, he's out of Texas. I'm currently in talks with him.
That's sweet.
It sounds like he's coming.
Nice.
So,
I think me and him were national champs together in
were ya?
2012. Yeah.
He likes,
Sure, yeah.
He likes to party.
Yeah. I don't really remember. I was a little sport compact guy back then, so I didn't really get in too much with those guys, but I'm pretty sure he was the national champ in 2012 with me.
Yeah. He's a great guy. So Tad Pospischel, SLMR champion.
This late model race is gonna be wild, guys.
Jesse Sobbing. I mean,
yeah. Why wouldn't he come?
Yeah, I was talking to Brian, and he's like, "Man, that place would be wild if you won." I'm like, "Brian, I'm not winning that one."
It's just one of those you show up and you're like, "Man, if I could just make the field, that's all I want to do is just make the field."
And I was talking to my brother before I came over here, and he's like, "Man, we need to get you some nights." Yeah. He's like, "You ran 3 nights this year." I'm like, "Yeah," and
it's so
I
tough
haven't
anymore.
Finished 2 of them.
Oh,
So
I didn't realize that's all you ran was 3 nights.
Yeah.
I don't get to watch a lot of late models. We're kind of usually debriefing up to you guys, so I don't get to go up there a ton. But I know you've had a rough year up to this point.
Oh, it's been horrible.
Yeah. Nope, you're gonna have some of that stuff, but no, man, this race is gonna be awesome. So anybody, July 3rd, come out to Off-Road Speedway. I'll be there. I'll be racing for sure that weekend. I've kind of rearranged my plans around. I was supposed to be in Independence, Iowa on the 1st. Or that Monday, and then I've changed it. I'm gonna actually come in on the 3rd there and come and race it off road. So anybody come down, we'll be there all night because I don't have to do nothing on the 4th of July except light some fireworks off, and I gotta do that till nighttime.
Heck yeah, and we even got fireworks.
Really?
After the show, so we got a big fireworks sponsor.
Nice.
Yeah,
this is gonna be awesome.
We're pulling out all the stops on this. I don't know what I'm doing as a promoter, but I'm doing something.
You're doing something.
So, it's been a whirlwind. I'm sure my wife is ready for this to be over.
Is there an entry fee or is it just normal pit pass?
Normal. We did have to increase pit pass by $5.
I mean, that's pretty normal.
Sadly.
Yeah.
But
no one likes doing it, but that's normal for a big show.
Yeah,
so you can't knock it because they do it every other week.
Yep, 100%. So like I said, $5 increase in pit pass. So I think it's $35.
Yeah, probably 35. Yep.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's going to be a big event. Whole Haase family's going to be there. So like 500 people.
I was going to say that's going to be, there's a lot of you guys.
I think there's 18 kids, I think. So there's going to be a ton of people here.
Yeah.
So, come on out. Off-Road Speedway, July 3rd, 7 p.m. I'm hoping we get at least 30 late models, at least.
I think minimum that, because you got to think some of these other guys are going to travel around a little bit,
Yeah, and we were looking, me and the Signer family were looking at last year's Independence Day special, and they had 25 cars. So for late model, so we're hoping with even more increase, we can get at least 30. I was talking to Bo Johnson. He was thinking 50. So we'll see where we're at.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to see a couple B mains and stuff. That'd be awesome.
I love BCs. Bring it back to the old days. Yeah.
Dude, I remember those. Justin, you weren't really around for the C and D main stuff back in the day, like street stocks. That was some wild stuff back in the day. Could you imagine going through D main? Be like, oh, I broke in the heat race. Now I have to go through the D main into the C, B. I remember Ron Pettit did that one time.
Wow.
The D to the C to the B, and then I think he won the A that night. That's typical Ron Pettit stuff back in the day.
Ron Pettit's the legend. Yeah. I love Ron.
But yeah, anything else you really got on that?
No, like I said, just keep up to date with us on our Facebook page. Like I said, it's Ray the Hummer Haase Tribute Race on Facebook. Like I said, I'm constantly updating that. I think I've made
you guys putting all kinds of banners and sponsorship stuff out. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Really excited for it.
I'm trying to actually do something for our sponsors. They're making this happen. Mm-hmm. It's not me. It's not the track. It's obviously the track. It's our sponsors. Without them, when I came up with this idea with Brian and Jerry, I would have never imagined someone come up and say, I want to hand you $1,000 to give to the winner.
Yeah.
But someone did.
That's awesome.
Ray Clausen, he said, I want to give $1,000 in the winner. That's crazy.
Well, that's a crazy thing with your grandpa. There's a lot of people that are here today racing because of him. Mm-hmm.
You bought your first four-cylinder from him.
Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah, I did buy my 1988 Honda Accord from Ray. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I never thought about that either, too. Yeah, I'm here because of Ray, pretty much. Yeah. I don't know where I'd got my first four-cylinder from. Showed up and said, hey, you got any of those? Yeah, we got this Honda with dual carburetors on it. Heck yeah. Here's $500 cash and I'll take it home. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. He's touched so many people and yeah, this is going to be an awesome, great tribute to him.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
I can't imagine a better.
That's why I'm glad we finally got you on here to talk about this. We can start promoting it a little bit more and let people know, that it'll be fresh in their mind. We'll remind them every week on the podcast.
Heck yeah, thank you.
Maybe we'll do a live podcast that night. I'll be in the car, my radio. Justin, you can be talking in my ear. Just recording a podcast as I'm racing.
It's for points, or is it a points race or not?
Race. I do hate midweek points racing. I am not a fan because it's a big commitment and it's a quick turnaround. But nope, I've done it before and I'll have to do it again if I decide to chase points in Norfolk. So
I mean, you're up by 20 points, right?
I am up by 20 points.
You have to.
The way we're looking at it is if we win the track points in Norfolk, at least then we can go to the Boone Super Nationals, which is it's our Super Bowl. And then I can race in the race champions, I think. So it just gets me an extra race there. I made the race here a few years ago. And we're running good right now. So obviously we got to keep racing. For that kind of stuff.
I don't know what other track schedule looks like, but maybe you'd be Performer's first track champion.
I don't know. Sad Miles might be doing some of that stuff.
Ah, dang it.
I don't know. I'm probably one of the only ones running for points. I don't know what Logan and Shane, and there's Joe and Nathan. I know isn't racing right now. Yeah, there's only 7 of us. So
it's so crazy. I follow him on Facebook, and it's like I watch him, and it's like Tyler Nayrud.
Yeah.
Concordia, like up 13 spots.
13
it's like,
spots.
Oh
I need to text him after this. Actually,
these things are flying right now.
Yeah. So, and the nice thing is we're all kind of open. We're able to talk about a few things because there's not many of us and we all want to make each other better. So, and that's what we did. We went up to the Park Jeff and I talked to Logan a bunch and we made the car better. So I'm excited. Mm-hmm. And there's more left. I got more adjustments I can take it to because I haven't done a lot.
And it's crazy. Like I'll watch you and it's just like, like last Saturday, it was like Kyle Wilkinson was just banging the cushion up top. And I'm
flying, and I kept looking at it up there. I'm like, I can't do that.
Yeah. I was just watching, like, man, this race is going to be Kyle or Colby or James Roebuck's
I did
race
not
to
think we were
win.
going to win that.
And then all of a sudden, I see my cousin Jake freaking out. You guys are good friends. Mm-hmm. I see him freaking out, and I look up and I see that 21 coming. I'm like, oh my gosh.
We were
Cameron's got that
at the end of that
inside
thing.
rolling.
So, no, I'm pretty anxious. We've still got some stuff I want to try for this weekend. I need to get the car back on the scales and then check it with the load stick and do a couple more things and see what we can do from here to keep going, try and make it better.
That's crazy. You still got room to improve.
I think so. I still think
crazy.
There's still more speed in the car.
Wow.
I'm not done yet. I need to call Andy. I need to call and get in our shock. I want to try something different on one of the corners of the car yet. So I have some other stuff I want to try.
I mean, this is technically like pretty much a first year chassis.
So yeah, Narud is in the only 2023 car. So there was one sport mod last year. So he's in the only used car. The other 6 were all new this year.
Thinking next year when more information has been found, more technology.
Yeah. And I feel like we're on the up and up. Obviously, Andy, we're one of 2 cars in Iowa, or in Nebraska. So Andy's going to want us to run good. So
yeah, I mean,
I'm in the circle.
It's got me looking at.
You're not the only one. People have,
for sure.
I've been told people from Nebraska have called about a performer sport mod.
I keep
in the
looking
last
at
month
them.
or so.
And like I said, I follow their Facebook page and I see, plus 10, plus 7, plus 13. It's like, man, I want one so bad.
So, nope, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, anything else you guys got on racing?
Nope.
No, just to it was a while ago, but July 3rd is a Wednesday, not a Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
So
that makes me feel better. So we'll have to try and record on Tuesday. I was trying to piece that together in my head because the first I thought was Monday. So, all right, good call, Jason. So Wednesday night, we will race at Off-Road Speedway. So, well, that kind of brings us to the spinning winner wheel. I did win last weekend, Justin.
Yeah.
Do you even remember who you picked?
I do, because I had to go look, and I guess he wrecked.
Yeah, I did see
DNF'd.
So I finished second. For the second week in a row, I finished second, actually. Feel pretty good about that.
That's crazy.
So this weekend, F1 is it's a Spanish Grand Prix, which is always good. IndyCar, and then Xfinity and Cup are New Hampshire. NHRA is in Virginia. And then I figured we'd throw in Off-Road Speedway for the stock cars. So I thought that'd be fun. I don't want to have sport mod on here, and I figured with Joe coming, we wouldn't pick late models, so we'll just pick stock cars. So this week, we get to pick. It is Cup race again, Justin.
Jeez.
New Hampshire. Lobsters. I'm excited. It's going to be a good weekend. Nice big flat mile track. Who are you thinking? I'll let you pick first.
Oh, I suck at this, so Joey, you can have my pick.
Oh,
Ooh,
wow.
the guest gets to pick. Well, I guess Jake did pick for. Jake did win.
You're
for
1-0, yeah. With
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did with the guest pick. So
who are you thinking?
no pressure, Joe.
There's some good cars here.
So I can go obvious.
You can pick anybody
Kyle
too.
Larson. I don't want to do Kyle Larson.
That's not who I was going to pick.
Were you?
No, I know I've got 2 or 3 good really picks.
Wow. I'll let you go first.
Well, that takes some of the fun out of it.
Okay, well then let's go. Let's go Denny Hamlin. He's been in a slump lately.
He's got to turn it around.
I'm not a big Hamlin fan. Let's go Denny Hamlin here.
All right, I can do that. So I got you down for Hamlin. So I had 2 picks. And since you picked Hamlin, I might have to shoot for the star. I'd not, pick my higher pick because I really like Noah. Because this 10 car runs good here.
Okay.
They won with Eric Almirola here, that knockout win for the playoffs here a couple years ago. I really think Christopher Bell's going to win this weekend. I think he's going to be really tough.
I think he's on I need that win after that.
We finished 4th.
What was it, Pocono? What was that race where he had it won, and then him and battling with some crap 2 weeks ago? He had it won, and then training or something.
Oh yeah, the engine blew up at Gateway.
Yeah, Gateway.
Yeah,
and Martin Truex was pushing him.
Yeah, and he was fast. He was very fast at the end of the race.
That race won,
he was very fast at the end of the race on Sunday. So no, I'm going to pick Christopher Bell then for this weekend. So, yeah, we'll get up on that. Agent Life Media podcast, guys. Obviously, we're in the podcast room. We're doing some really cool things. I finally finished up the last week's episode with Yoshi on the touching base. That was a killer episode. He's a utility lineman. It's into gaming. Great episode. I finished up with the TNT boys. They had a great episode. They had a guest also down in here. Go listen to the other stuff. Useless every Thursday night at 7. I believe next Thursday I am on that one. I need to do, next Thursday I'm going to be on. So Zach's not going to be here. So I'm going to come fill in. I filled in. I surprised them all for the live show afterwards. That was always a good time. I enjoy being on Useless whenever I can be. But yeah, Joey, I do have some other questions I want to ask you.
Okay.
This is always some fun stuff. So you're the third generation, right? I was asked how many generations?
Yeah, third generation.
Yeah, I didn't know if anybody had raced, if your grandpas, dad or anything like that?
Grandpa's the kind of the leader, and then my dad and uncles and aunt, cousins, all
Everybody,
of us.
yeah. There's a lot of Haases race.
Yeah, 100%.
So if you're listening to this and you're not super familiar, I'm sure you know the Haase name just from racing for just that reason. Well, I mean, they, you know, they owned the track for a little while out there.
Yeah, the old Riviera Raceway, 50 some years.
Yeah, they wanted to make it at least 50 years. Yeah.
Yeah. I think it might have been 51 or 50.
I knew they minimum had to get to 50.
Yeah.
That was a good place. I miss that place. We all do.
It was fun.
It's just, I don't know if it's just nostalgia built up in your head, but we all miss that place a lot. Why your number?
Grandpa.
Yep.
So, Grandpa, he ran a ton of numbers. I don't know why he changed.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So I didn't know he ran as many numbers as he did. I knew he ran like 3 or 4, you know, but when for the funeral and stuff like that, when we were putting together I wasn't putting the pictures together, but like my aunt and dad and stuff like that were putting all the pictures together and showing a bump on the projector and stuff. He ran like 16 and 20 and 02 and 2X.
Was he just driving for people at the time, or did he always own his own car?
I think he was buying cars from people. I'm not 100% sure on this. Yeah, just not change the number. It is what it is type of deal. But when I started racing, I started out as 02, and there was a driver that runs USMTS. His name's Tanner Mullins.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not like him. And his number was 02, but the O was like a heart.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. Different. Yeah, and I was like, nope, not doing that anymore. So they went 2X and been that ever since. So yeah, it's just kind of like a family thing, family tradition. And
I always like getting that, you know, example, like why we pick the number we pick, because it's sometimes you get the craziest stuff.
Yeah, it's just family thing. So
what is your favorite car you've ever drove? Like out of all of them you owned, what was your favorite one?
I had a 2016 Razor chassis.
I remember this car.
That was.
I figured that's where you're gonna go.
That was lights out. So my brother bought this car, and he ran it 1 year, I want to say, and was just absolutely horrendous. And I've had this, like, I don't know if it's just little brother syndrome where like
you get the hand-me-downs.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, he can't do it. I'll show you. Yeah. So we had this 2016 Razor, and that thing lights out every single night I ran it. So yeah, that was top car. That thing.
That's what you had in 18, wasn't it? 18 and 19?
No. We bought a brand new Razor in 18.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, that car's still running around here. That car is.
It is. I've seen some rough days.
Yeah.
Rough days. We don't need to go into depth a lot on that one, but it's rough.
Yeah, that was.
I've seen it do some scary things.
Yeah. With me driving it too.
Yeah. Yep. 2018 championship night.
Yeah.
I still have flashbacks of Joey's slider coming out of turn 2 and looking down and being like, we're going to die here.
Slide or die there.
Yep, it was, and we were going to die. We were.
And I think you and I were in a points battle.
We were
I don't
that
know
night.
how many points, but
it was very close.
Yeah.
It was very close.
It was like you, me, and Colby were like all
within
year.
Within 8
just
points, I think. And you and me were very tight.
Yeah. And it was just like Colby was out front. And like, I think you got to me. I think you got up there. And I'm like, oh, let's throw it in here. Let's try it.
It was very scary. There's some days I wish I had a little, like an actual, so you guys could actually see, not even the GoPro on the helmet, just some glasses to see like what I'm looking at. Cause like my eyes had to be about this big and they're looking down at Joey about to throw the slider and be like, Joe, this isn't going to work. This isn't going to work. I'm here.
I want one of those Apple watches to track my heart pressure.
Mine does not.
Instances like that.
Mine does not change a ton.
Oh,
I stay pretty cool in the car. I've noticed that. I look at it and it'll go up a little bit, but it's not like it gets ridiculous as you would think.
I think Jamie McMurray was the one who like started that when he was racing back when he was.
I know a lot of drivers wear the whoop thing, the whoop bracelet,
and then they were like posting them on Twitter, and I was like, man, I want to get that.
So yeah, I do wear my watch when I race, and it doesn't change a ton by any means. It's kind of wild.
Oh, yeah.
It definitely gets up.
Yeah,
but yeah, I pay attention to it after some of the nights. Not so much anymore because I'm like. It's not as cool because it doesn't really do anything like, oh yeah, it went up to like some crazy beats per minute or anything. But this is my favorite question. What is the worst racing advice anyone has ever given you?
I mean, I've gotten a lot. It's got to be something from my cousin, Jake. I don't know. Wow.
That's a good question, isn't it?
I mean, everyone like with this late models deal, everyone just says drive the car in there as hard as possible and it'll stick with these big tires.
It's so hard to do that though. Like you have to have so much confidence.
And back when I was in the sport mod and stuff like that, when I didn't own my own stuff, back when I was in high school and stuff like that, I would put the car in anywhere. I didn't care. I don't have to pay for it. But I mean, anymore, my brother's always like, just drive the car in there harder. I mean, Corey Dumper, I'm really good friends with Corey Dumper. Just drive the car in there harder.
It's tough.
You
have to have so much confidence in your stuff, because if it doesn't turn and you're on the bottom, you're going to shove the nose and you're going to drive straight into somebody and rip the nose off the car.
And I don't want to be like known as a dirty driver or anything like that. So yeah, just driving the car in there harder is definitely got to be. It's harder than it looks. You know, everyone. I mean, all three of us know. Obviously, all three of us race, but it's a lot harder than it looks here. So,
there's some stuff that you have to do that is wild, and you're like, "Holy crap! How did I do that?"
Yeah. I went down to I-80 for one of the last races, and Jake Neal was like, "Yeah, just put the thing up on the wall." Jake, no, it doesn't work like that.
Yeah, it's very tough. But yeah, no, that's kind of what I got. Anything you guys want to close out the episode with?
No, I just want to say thank you guys for having me on. I appreciate it, for being able to just come in and talk about my grandpa's tribute race and everything like that. I appreciate you guys for having me on. I appreciate being an active listener.
Yeah, because Jake, we kind of got him listening and everything like that. So, Zach, you got something over there?
I do. I want to congratulate you guys on 1,000 downloads.
I was just going to bring that up.
Oh, okay, so I'm sorry.
No, you're good. I'm glad you brought it up. So yeah, thanks everyone that has listened to this. Crazy to be at 1,000 listens. Obviously, I think I think this is episode 15. This is killer. Like, I love doing this. Listen to, getting listener feedback at the races or just random places. People be like, "Oh yeah, I do listen to your podcast." It's just wild to be able to do this every week in and week out. And I know Justin feels the same way. But yeah, anything you want to say about 1,000 listens? Did you ever think of 1,000 listens when we started this?
Dude, I thought when you sent me the first picture that like 12 people listened, I was like, that's 8 more than I thought was going to listen. And we're at 1,000. So it's
1,000 listens, man. And people listen.
Wild.
And thank you to the one guy that listens in Germany. I can look at that. We have one guy that listens to about half the episodes in Germany. So whoever you are, you can message us and we'll figure something out for you.
I feel like he needs a camera Meyer.
That's cool.
I'd probably send one over there. Yeah. I don't know, unless he's got like a VPN or something like that. I don't know what it is, but there's somebody in Germany that the analytics tell me they listen over there. Wow. So, but yeah,
that was kind of cool. I did notice that the other night when I was in Norfolk, how many 21 shirts were walking around that place, and it's like, are they either listeners or are you're running good? Are you selling T-shirts or
a little bit of both?
Speaking of,
or
I got a
people
little neighborhood boy. He's, I don't know, probably 6 or something like that, and he's a big Cameron Meyer fan.
And send him over for a shirt.
He's already got one.
Oh, does he?
Yep, he's already got one. It's about 5 sizes too big, but he wears that thing all the time.
That's
man.
awesome.
He loves you.
I have there is one kid that he got a shirt for me the second night, so we would have won that night. And before I won, I gave him a shirt. He hasn't washed that shirt since. I was like, dude, I will pay you to not wash that shirt. Don't do it. You're gonna wash all the waka right off of it.
It's so cool seeing, like fans,
kids, fans.
Yeah,
like,
it is so cool.
And then the cool part is, so I was in Casey's here like 4 or 5 months ago, maybe, and somebody had a 2012 shirt on, like one of the national championships, and I had no idea who they were, and that's just cool to me. Like, they're wearing my shirt, and I'm right behind them, and they never said nothing to me, so maybe they don't know who I am, but they stole from their boyfriend at the time or something like that. But
yeah, I bought it at a Goodwill.
Exactly.
25 cents for it. Like, that's so cool. You're a fan. Like, no, it's just
it is pretty cool to walk up there. Yeah. And I walked up there last weekend because the kids were up there, but there was a lot of 21 shirts up there. So everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna do more shirts?" I'm like, "No, because these are 3 years old and I'm still getting rid of all these things." So again, if anyone comes out to the races on Saturday night and you do listen to the podcast and you already haven't claimed a free shirt, come tell us you listen. Come grab your free shirt. I handed a few out the other Saturday. So. And again, we appreciate all you listens, across the board, with all the other Agent Life Media stuff, man. This is killer. We appreciate Zach and letting us come interview here, man. We appreciate all this. And this is all I got tonight for the show, boys. Anything else you guys got?
I did send one guy your way for a shirt.
Oh, he sent
one of my pit guys.
Oh, no. Oh yeah, he did come over and get it.
He came over.
He was a little nervous about it.
Yeah, was he?
Yeah, he was.
We listened.
It was funny.
We listened to you guys in the shop when we were working on the race car and stuff like that, and I'm like, go get one.
Yeah, yeah. He said he was a little nervous about it.
Yeah. So we sent him your way.
That's awesome.
So,
heck yeah, perfect, guys. I love it. Another great episode in the books. Thanks, Joe. We really appreciate you coming on. I look forward to the Memorial race. Perfect, guys. I will we're gonna close this out. Let y'all listen next week.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.